Have you noticed how the more you pursue someone, the more they seem to distance themselves from you? It's trying to hold on to water. Grip it tightly. It slips away. You keep giving and caring deeply, yet they keep drifting away. You end up exhausted, giving everything and getting nothing in return. Here's a hard truth that might liberate you. Sometimes getting noticed requires stepping back. Pursuing doesn't build bonds. It often pushes them away. People tend to value things they have to work for, not what's easily given to them. They've grown comfortably assured, haven't they? Too certain that you'll always be available, offering your time, energy, and care whenever needed. Like a faucet they can turn on and off at will, expecting your unending love and attention. But what happens when you cut off that supply? When you stop providing what they expect without notice or explanation, a void appears, and they will feel it. This isn't about playing games. It's about creating emotional distance, not to punish them, but to reclaim your strength. Detaching doesn't mean you cease to care or become cold-hearted. It means stopping the overflow and rediscovering your worth. They began to see you as background noise, assuming you were always waiting to rescue them when they fell. You've been their safety net, unheeded until it's no longer there. Not any longer. Today, you're learning to step back, allow space, and let silence communicate for you. Sometimes your absence has more impact than words or actions. Consider, how many times have you argued or pleaded for someone to recognize your value? How often have you hoped they'd finally see your worth, only to be met with empty promises or indifference? The truth is that people tend to appreciate what they lose. Picture stepping back entirely. No texts, no calls, no attention. In a world craving instant replies, retreating forces them to confront a stark truth. They might be losing something more valuable than they realized. Our attention is like money, but when given too easily, its value diminishes. Think about it. Your energy, kindness, and time aren't boundless. The more you give without reciprocation, the more drained you become, and the less they recognize what they have. Pulling back changes everything. Suddenly, you're not the one reaching out. They start to wonder, what happened? That silence creates a space where they begin to realize how much they miss you. They may initially feel relieved. No messages, no follow-ups. But the mind doesn't cope well with silence. Soon, that quiet becomes a mirror, showing everything they took for granted. They'll begin to ask, did you move on? Are you happier now? These questions can wield tremendous power. Emotional distance isn't about escaping. It's about firmly standing by your self-worth. You're not here to plead for attention or love. By pulling away, you make them realize they must earn a place in your life. When you stop chasing, you become a mystery. Your absence grips them, soon becoming something they can't ignore. It's not just that they miss you, they start to understand how much they need you. Creating emotional distance does more than catch their eye. It reclaims your power and reminds you of your value. We'll delve into why holding back makes a profound impact and why sometimes the greatest gift is not your presence, but your absence. In a world that never stops, silence is the loudest statement you can make. It compels others to confront emptiness they were unaware of. We exist in a perpetually noisy realm. Messages, notifications, swift replies, and instant satisfaction. People are used to having you demand attention. But what happens when you step back? When will silence become your choice instead of engagement? They might not initially notice, but eventually that quiet will weigh on them. They'll wonder, why aren't they responding? Did something change? Did I do something wrong? This uncertainty stems not from your actions, but from the narratives they create. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Your silence isn't what hurts them. It's their thoughts, that inflict the harm. Their minds will replay every interaction, trying to pinpoint where things went wrong. And here's the key. They won't find the answers they seek. That's when real transformation begins. Your absence resonates louder than words could ever do. They're left bewildered, scrambling to comprehend what occurred. This move doesn't leave them astounded alone, but leaves them vulnerable. They believed they had wrapped you around their finger, but when you retreat, they discover they've never truly held control. Their illusion of security collapses, compelling them to question everything. People get complacent when they believe they can predict your actions. As long as you keep giving, they stop valuing your effort. But when you break this pattern, stop being the one constantly reaching out, always solving issues. They face the harsh truth. You are not a giver. Reflect on this in your life. Perhaps you've always been the first to send messages and arrange meetups, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Over time, they came to expect it, thinking you'd always be there irrespective of their behavior. Imagine their shock when you halt. No more morning texts, no more check-ins, no more accommodating your schedule for theirs. Unexpectedly, you withdraw effort. The ground beneath them shifts. Now they question. What changed? Why aren't they reaching out? Did I lose them? Herein lies the real power. Breaking the pattern compels them to acknowledge how much they've taken for granted. That's the beauty of predictability. When they think they understand you, they grow lax. But when you change the rules, they must reassess everything assumed. And that's when they realize they could never take you for granted. If you're ready to stop being predictable and start living independently, let's move forward together. The next steps will challenge you, but ultimately liberate you. Subscribe, stay with us, and prepare to unlock the next segment of your journey.